years, and we went to Six Flags, and because I did so well, my parents decided to buy Six Flags passes. So we go there a lot now. Alright, so my name is Katrina Xiong. I am a sophomore this year, and I'm going to share a little bit about my story. So I was born and raised in a Christian family, and as long as I can remember, I attended summer camp, conferences, and church regularly, and church is pretty much my second home. I can't tell you how much God has blessed me in my life. My parents always prayed for my siblings and I, and always did their best to support us in our walks with Christ, and I'm truly grateful for them. And so as I was growing up, I was always a follower, a go-with-the-flow type of person, and I really cared about what everybody had to say about me, and I cared about everyone's opinions. However, I still remember the day when I had to say goodbye to my home. I thought I was going to die. And so I absolutely hated the thought of leaving all my friends from school, and there was no way that I could move on. So I prayed to God, and I asked Him to please be with me as the new school year was creeping in. As school started, I knew I was going to struggle. It was always hard for me to be able to connect with new people. And as a Hmong minority, it was easier to just blend in and be with those who looked like me, which is Hmong. However, in the Hmong community, only 1% are believers, while the other 99% are Xiong believers. With different beliefs, I knew that I was probably going to be one of the only Christians in the Hmong community at my school, and I was absolutely right. After making a couple friends and being one of the only Hmong believers, I started to grow a fear of having my Christian identity be exposed. So I decided to hide my identity. I was afraid to be alone and different from others. I figured that life would just be easier if I pretended to be a regular Hmong person who didn't know what shamanism or Christianity was. This was the only way to protect myself. Everything would be fine. But that was not the case. And so as I became closer to my friends, I started to run away from God. I wanted to participate in all the things my friends did, such as attending shaman events, only because they were able to talk about something they had in common that I didn't. And I remember crying and fighting myself, for I knew that I was not being completely honest with myself. I knew I loved God, but I also knew I needed to survive my school year. And I was living a double life, and I wanted to stay in both worlds. I stressed over the fact that I needed to be perfect, so I kept telling myself that it's okay. This is what many Hmong people do, so there wouldn't be any problem if I wanted to do the things that were normal for a majority of the Hmong people. Although I kept fighting myself, deep inside I knew that this war was really God knocking on my door for the 100th time, but I still didn't know what to do. I was torn between my Hmong identity and my Christian identity, and I was torn between my thoughts and my heart. Then one night, my parents asked to talk to me. They shared with me that they realized I wasn't being myself. It seemed like I didn't love myself anymore, and I wanted to please others first. Rejecting the truth, and trying to hold my tears back, I told them I was fine. I'm pretty sure they knew they were right. So as I sat in my room by myself, I started to question myself and where I stood in my life. Is pretending really worth my happiness? And in that moment, I finally decided to let everything rest on God, and I opened my heart out to Him. I was finally able to build up the courage to tell my friends that I am a believer of Christ, and that is who I am. And they still accepted me wholeheartedly and respected me for that. From this event that occurred in my life, I realized that my identity of Hmong does not mean that I have to be a shaman believer. It also does not mean that my identity is in my title of being Hmong, and it's not in my Hmong people. My identity is also not in succeeding or surviving, or being perfect or not, but it is in God alone. God was there ever since the beginning, and He never left me. He is forgiving, He is good, and He will always be there. So today I stand here, not perfect, but as a daughter of Christ. And to conclude, I'm going to end with a verse from Colossians chapter 3, 9 through 11. It says, "Do not lie to each other, since you have taken off your old self with its practices, and have put on a new self, which is being renewed in knowledge of the image of its Creator. There is no Gentile or Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, slave, or free, but Christ is all, and He is in all." Thank you.